Hello YouTube, this is going to be a tutorial on how to fix your Xbox controller if you have one of the bumpers that isn't functioning properly. You know, you'll have it and it'll click, and then all of a sudden, you know, you'll be playing in the game and then all of a sudden it won't click anymore. You know, you push it and it just kind of squishes downward and it doesn't make that firm clicking sound and it's not responding in the game. So if you can hear it, here's the left one that was broken. So as you can see, there is a little bit of a click. I'm not exactly sure if you can hear that. It's not as firm a click as the right one, which is, you know, still perfect. It hasn't broken yet or anything. But, you know, this can be used to fix your Xbox controller. So don't go and buy a new controller. You can fix it yourself. Okay, so you're going to need a couple of things for this. You're obviously going to need your Xbox controller, the one that's broken. You're going to need a Torx bit with a security hole drilled out of it. Here's mine. As you can tell, maybe there's a small little hole that's drilled in the end of it right there. I don't have the best camera quality, but basically here's the one that I bought. It's tamper-proof T9 Torx, and you're going to want a T9. That one fits very perfectly. I've heard that you can use a T8, but it doesn't you know, fit as nicely as the T9 does. The T9 fits perfectly in the hole, gives you great leverage on unscrewing the screws. And again, the reason for that is because you won't be able to get it out. You won't be able to get the screws from the Xbox controller out unless you have that security hole drilled into it. One note about when you're disassembling the controller, there is going to be like a barcode right here behind the battery pack, if it's a wireless one anyway. And you have to peel that sticker off to get to the screw there. If you don't take that screw off, your Xbox controller is not going to open. So don't break your controller. Make sure you take that thing off. Peeling that label does void the warranty on the controller, but there isn't a warranty. So it's not really a big deal. You know, it's like on the Xbox, if you peel the little like chrome sticker off or whatever, like on a hard drive or something like that. This is essentially the same thing, except the Xbox controller doesn't really have a warranty, so don't worry about it. Depending on the kind of Torx bolt you buy, it might not fit. Like it might not be deep enough. So what I had to do is I had to kind of like hollow out some of that thing with just like a screwdriver. I just kind of stuck it in there and wiggled it around. The plastic is pretty thin and it peels off. So if you know the Torx bolt you buy isn't long enough to like reach all the way down into the hole, just kind of hollow it out with a screwdriver or something like that, and it should make it a lot easier to get in there. So there's just something that you should take note of when you're disassembling the Xbox controller. So once you have, kind of messy here, but once you have all the screws taken out, what you're going to do is you're going to flip your controller upside down and you're going to start to disassemble it. You're going to start by kind of just popping open the case here. As you can see, I'm doing it. And it's going to kind of just slide off like that. You might have to force it if it's the first time the controller is being taken apart, but for the most part, it should come out very nicely. So there's the top. Make sure you lift it up and off of the triggers here because it can get, you know, snagged on the triggers. And also make sure to try to not damage the two springs that are sitting right here. Put that aside for now. You're going to take off the little rumble things. That's where the vibration comes from. Take those off, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your finger underneath. It's nice to have fingernails for this, by the way. There's going to be this little part right here, and you're going to want to stick your fingernail under that, and that will give you the leverage to take the little the chipboard here off. And you're just going to want to kind of put it in whatever position it is the easiest to get it off, and kind of just try to force that up and off of the base of the controller. You can also try moving it from the sides just a little bit. And if it's a new controller or if it's the first time, it may be a little stiff. I just got mine off. One thing you might want to do is you might want to pull on the joysticks a little bit to kind of pop them out of place, and that'll make it a lot easier for you to take off this part. So you'll notice that, see the joystick's kind of loose and dangly right here. That's how you want it, because it is connected to this little chipboard on these two little pegs, and that can make it difficult to take it off. So try to pop off the little joysticks and it'll make it a lot easier to open it up. Okay, so here is where the meat of the tutorial really starts. You're going to take off this little strip. It has two pegs, one here and one here. Again, these, at least for mine, are really stiff and it's kind of hard to get it off unless you really force it. So I'm gonna, there we go. forced it off. And again, don't worry about breaking it. You just have to give it a little bit of a push and it should snap off. Now, here is where the tutorial is. How to put this little piece on here. Now, all this is really simple. And I have another one right here. It's a piece of double-sided tape with a little piece of, kind of just a little thin piece of cardboard. What I used is like one of these microwavable meals things. And I just cut a little slit of it off. And you can see it right here. And what that does is it sticks out over where the button is. Now the reason that this happens is because right here, you'll see that little peg right there? That little peg pushes down on this little white button right here. That little white button comes in contact with this little peg. And what happens is the peg isn't long enough to push down on the button. So all we're doing is adding a little bit of thickness with this thin piece of cardboard so that when the peg makes contact with the cardboard, it gives it that extra bit of thickness to push down on the small white button on the circuit board. Now, you don't want to make this too thick. I've tried many different variations. I tried using 2, 3, layers of cardboard, and the best one ended up just being one single layer. You can try this with different kinds of cardboard. I mean, I don't really think it matters on the thickness as long as you don't like double up. I think if it's a little bit thicker than this or thinner, it should be fine as long as you're not doubling up or tripling up, because that's just too much thickness, and therefore it'll just make it, the piece won't be like, it won't be able to contract nicely. It'll just kind of, wobble back and forth. It won't, contract all the way down. Also, try to make sure that this piece of cardboard is really stiff. If it has like a bend in it, like that, it's not going to work very well. You want it to be nice and flat and stiff. Then, once you put that on, using a piece of double-sided tape, you're going to try to reassemble the Xbox controller. Now, if it's on the right side, you'll notice this is to fix a left bumper. If it's on the right side, it's going to be a little bit trickier, but you're going to do the same thing. Instead of putting the double-sided tape right there, you're going to put it on top of where the Y casing is. So this is the casing that holds the Y button. That's where you would put it. And of course, you'd have to angle it differently, but for the most part, it should work exactly the same. And this is all you really have to do. Put the double-sided tape, put the thin piece of cardboard, and what that does is it gives it a little bit more thickness. So when you apply pressure to the button, it makes contact with the cardboard, and the cardboard makes contact with the button on the circuit board, because that is the real reason why your controller isn't responding, is because there's not enough thickness for the button to come in contact with the button on the circuit board. So really that's all for the tutorial on how to fix the bumper. I'm just going to go ahead and reassemble this. You can continue to watch if you want. Now once again, here is, once it's kind of reassembled, so you can see there's the little black peg right there. That's the peg. There's the cardboard, and there's the white button right there. If you can see it. That little white thing right there, that's the button. And that is what you're sliding into place. So, once again, we can kind of try to get an angle on it. If you can see that, you can see the peg pushing down on the cardboard and making contact with the white button. And that's really all you have to do. So don't bother spending money on a new controller. Don't try to send it in for a warranty, because they're just going to tell you that controllers don't have a warranty. This tends to be a pretty common problem with Xbox controllers, so try to fix it yourself. If you're unable to, then you're going to have to go out and buy a new controller. This is really just a flaw in the overall design of the Xbox controller. There's nothing really that you did wrong, so don't think that you broke it, or that maybe if your little brother did it. Don't call him an idiot because he messed up your controller. It's just a design flaw. Very minor design flaw, but nonetheless a design flaw. So I hope that helps you guys on how to fix your Xbox controllers. It worked for me. I've already tested this controller, even though I haven't fully assembled it yet, because I wanted to leave it open for the video. But I have tested it, and the buttons do work. So I hope this saves you guys money, so you won't have to go out and buy new controllers. And thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. If it's a question about how to disassemble the controller, I'm not super great at that. So there's a lot of videos on the YouTubes on how to disassemble the controller. But there we go. For the most part, it's reassembled, and you can tell that it is clicking into place nicely. So there it is. The Xbox controller is now fixed. And there you go. So that's how you fix the bumper on an Xbox 360 controller. I hope this helped. And if you have any questions, again, feel free to post a comment below. And thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.